Hey guys, welcome to the second video on Python and its basics. In this video, we are about to learn what sets and fuzzy sets are, what a support set of a fuzzy set is, and how to calculate scalar and relative cardinality using Python. So let's get started. So you must be asking yourself what fuzzy logic or what fuzzy set is. What does the word fuzzy mean? Before I come to what fuzzy means, I need to first explain what crisp is, since we are dealing with two different sets here that differ from each other, crisp and fuzzy logic. Crisp is basically a binary term. We can say it takes binary values, yes or no, on or off, ones and zeros. This is what machine code language is. It's what the computer understands. So that is what crisp logic, according to traditional methods. So what is fuzzy logic in that case? It is not ones and zeros, but it is somewhere between 0 and 1. So there is an infinite number of numerical values starting from 0 and ending at 1, infinite. So that can be also said as, in real world scenarios, it's not always binary, somewhere in between. So fuzzy logic allows values between zeros and ones, yes and no. So between yes and no, what is there? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. It represents degrees of truth, basically. For example, instead of saying temperature is hot or cold, we can say it is 0.7 hot. That means 70% hot. 0.7 here is a membership value. That means in set A, we can take 0.2. That means it's 20%, which is 0%. This is 70%. I'm just saying in terms of percentages. So when I say something is 0.7% hot or 70% hot, that means it is partially hot. That's how humans say it. So to model this behavior programmatically, I have implemented a class called fuzzy set, where each element is associated with a membership value between 0 and 1. Now in this program, I've structured it in a way that uses object-oriented principles, or OOPS concept, which encapsulates few operations like I mentioned before: find support of a fuzzy set, scalar and relative cardinality of a fuzzy set, all related to fuzzy sets. We have two other methods also, that is accept values and create fuzzy dictionary, which we will consider to perform a single operation, that is to take input as a key value pair to demonstrate the element and their corresponding membership value. Now, in this class fuzzy set, we have four methods and a single default constructor. In this default constructor, we have initialized fuzzy underscore dict as an empty dictionary. Now that dictionary is basically taking the input as x1 as the element and 0.2 as the membership value. And it goes on till we have the number of elements that we have entered. Now, if I speak on the architecture of this program, I can say that we have two segments. One is a class fuzzy set, and the other is a dunder method. In this case, the dunder method is the main method, which is the entry point of the execution of this program. Now, in this main method, we can see a set of instructions, and the first line of instruction says that we are calling the constructor. Now, fs is an object that is created as an instance of the class fuzzy set. So fs is of type fuzzy set, which is an instance of the class fuzzy set. And we use that instance or that object to call the method create fuzzy dictionary. Similarly, we use the same object to call the method find support and cardinality, all of which these methods belong to the class fuzzy set. Create fuzzy dictionary, find support, and cardinality. We are using the object fs to call these particular methods inside the class fuzzy set to perform operations. in order. So it highly depends on what order we are calling these methods. Now coming to the input handling part, where I have used the object fs to call the method create fuzzy dictionary. Now when this method is being called, let me just open it and show you the lines of code inside it. So the first line of code from that method tells you that the user is being asked to enter the number of elements. Now the number of elements we'll consider as a single unit of element and its corresponding membership value pair. So this is considered as a single unit as an element. So when the user enters the number of elements, we can give an example like set A, it has 4 units. So user will be entering 4, which represents a unit, 4 units of element and membership value. Thereon, when we loop through those number of elements, each index is going to execute accept values. Now when I open accept values, I can say it is again having 2 segments. In those 2 segments, the first segment shows, basically I ensure here in this entire segment, I'm just trying to ensure that the duplicate elements are not allowed by checking if the element already exists or not in that particular fuzzy dictionary. So if I already enter A before and its membership value, I will be asked again to enter the element for the second time. And the second time when I enter the element, and if I give it as A, it will say that element already exists. So again it will ask me enter element. This time I have to enter a different one. And if I enter a different one, then it breaks from that loop and it goes into the next loop. That means to enter its particular membership value. Now when I enter the membership value, which is of type float, I have to make sure, or rather the user has to make sure that it is between 0 to 1. Only then, if we give a value say 2 or 1.1, then we will be asked, we will be told the value is invalid, to try again. So again we will have to come back and come back to this statement where the user is being asked enter membership value again. So unless we type a valid value, a membership value between 0 to 1, till then we will be asked this uh, membership value to enter it. Thereon, if the condition is true, only then we will be updating the fuzzy dictionary with the element, with the membership value belonging to that particular element. So in other words, I can even execute this line instead of this. Python provides us with the update method, so it is easier this way. But instead, if you don't want to use the method update, then we can use it in this way. That is, we are assigning the membership value to the fuzzy dictionary belonging to that particular element. So in that way, we can say that the values of the element and the corresponding membership value is being paired and inserted into the fuzzy dictionary. And we have completed this entire set. Now I'm just going to execute this program and show you that how the support list is calculated and what is taken in this set. We are going to go abide by this particular set right here. So I'll just type python 3, press 2 and press tab, gives me the file name, and enter the number of elements. I give it as 4. Why? Because I'm considering this particular set right here. Enter element, I say x1, membership value 0.2. Okay, now I want to show you when I do accept values in this particular method, what happens when we give the same element and when we give the same membership value. Say if I give x1 again, it'll ask me and enter a new element again. Why? Because the element already exists. What element? x1. So until I give a new element each time, it will keep printing element already exists. And if I give a new element, it will break from that loop and it will come to the next loop. Now say if I enter membership value correctly, it breaks from that loop and it enters back into the above loop. Why? Because we have been asked to enter this 4 times, where n is equals to 4, and I is the particular index of that particular element and membership value, right? So here enter element, I give it a new element, say x2. We follow the set which is 0, and x3 as, okay, say if I give less than 0 or greater than 1, say if I give greater than 1, anything, say 4, invalid value, try again. Same, if I don't enter a new, if I don't abide by the rules provided here that it has to be between 0 to 1, then it'll keep asking me, it'll keep telling me that it's an invalid value, try again. Until I abide by this, it will break from the loop and it will go back to the enter element until 4 such elements or 4 such pairs of element and membership values are fulfilled in that fuzzy dictionary. So I enter the correct membership value for x3. Say I enter 0, was it? X3 is 0.7, 0.7, and I give x4 as 0. So like I said, x1 and x3 are considered to be greater than 0. I'll just close this method. Are x1 and x3, which is 0, right here, x1 and x3, 0.2 and 0.7, considered to be greater than 0. So x2 and x4 are excluded. Why? Because it doesn't fulfill this condition. And if it does, x1 and x3, it gets up that particular key, which is x1 and x3, is appended to that list support. So now in this support list, we have x1 and x3 right here. So now we come to the cardinality method. And likewise, as I did with create fuzzy dictionary and find support list, in cardinality method, I've used the object to call the method, and this method returns a tuple. Now what does a tuple have? It has a total and average. Now these two are calculated inside this method, and it returns the tuple and assigns it to scalar cardinality and relative cardinality. Now inside the cardinality, how is total and average calculated? Now initially we have to declare and initialize the total reference, which is of type float, and assign it an initial value of 0.0, a float value. And to calculate the total reference of type float, we have to loop through the fuzzy dictionary and access all the values. And on accessing all the values, we use the values method. We have earlier seen that we could have used the items which we can which you can use to access keys and values. But if we want to just use values and not the keys for that particular dictionary, we just use the values method. Likewise, we can access the keys as well with just the keys method like this. But since we just need values here, we access a particular index, the first index, right, and loop through to the end of n elements. That particular index value, we keep totaling it. And that is what gives us the total of all the values inside that particular dictionary. That means in this particular set, it gives us 0.2 plus 0 plus 0.7 plus 0, which is coming to 0.9. So total is basically being assigned to scalar cardinality 0, which is 0.9, and it shows here 0.89, which is close. Then how is average calculated? So in this line we can see that average is of type float, and the total is being divided by the length of the fuzzy dictionary. That means how many elements do we have here? 4. So the length of the fuzzy dictionary is basically 4. So total is 0.89 divided by 4. So if we have to calculate that, it will give us 0.22. And this entire line we could have otherwise written as, if, one second, I'll just mute this. If this length is greater than 0, the length of the fuzzy dictionary, then we will assign this calculation into average reference of type float, and if it is less than 0, then we'll just simply give it as 0. That's what this means. And thereon, when we return the tuple, that gets assigned to scalar cardinality and relative cardinality respectively. And right here it shows 0.2f. That means it is referenced to close to 2 decimals to the right of the number. So it gives us 0.22. So in this video, we've learned how to take an input to create a fuzzy dictionary for each element, or rather for each membership value corresponding to that particular element. We accept a dictionary and we form a set. So that we have learned. We have learned how to create a support list from that particular fuzzy set. We have learned how to calculate the scalar and relative cardinality of a fuzzy set. I will be posting more on fuzzy sets later. We will be learning how to create a union and intersections of a fuzzy sets. We will be also learning the algebraic and bounded sum of a fuzzy set and more. So if you are interested in more such videos, stay tuned.